So you're out on a walk and you come across a tree and you want to know how big the tree is. Luckily you're with a buddy and you know that he is about 2 meters tall or 6.5 feet. Yes, he's very tall. But you can use him like a giant ruler and compare his height to the tree's height to estimate how tall it is. If we imagine stacking 3 of him, then we can figure out that the tree must be about 6 meters tall or 20 feet. Now, we can use the same concept to measure things under the microscope, like these cheek cells shown at 430x magnification. All I need to know is how big the field of view is at 430x. And then we can measure the size of these cells by basically doing the process we use to measure the tree, but in reverse. So, how do we do that? Well, we need a ruler. What we're going to do is take a clear ruler and put it under the microscope at 40x, and we're able to see 1, 2, 3, 4 millimeters, which tells us that the field of view at 40x magnification is 4 millimeters. Now, of course, you remember there's an inverse relationship between magnification and field of view. That means that as magnification increases, the field of view decreases, right? So you can think of this like you would look at a map online. At a low magnification, you can see most of the country, but as you increase the magnification, you'll see just the city, or even just our college if we use a higher magnification. And we can kind of think of these 3 views in terms of the 3 magnification levels we'll be looking at under the microscope. So to figure this out, the question really is, how much bigger is 100x than 40x? Which mathematically, what we're really saying is 100x divided by 40x, which you can easily calculate, is 2.5. 100x is 2.5 times higher magnification and therefore has 2.5 times smaller field of view. We already know the field of view at 40x is 4 millimeters, of course. And we also know that as we increase magnification, the field of view will get smaller. So we take 4 millimeters and divide by 2.5, the number we just calculated. And that gives us 1.6 millimeters. Okay, well, what's that? Well, 1.6 millimeters is the field of view at 100x. All right, so the original question was, what's the field of view at 430x? And that's where you get to do this on your own. I'll start you out the same way we figured out the field of view at 100x with the question, how much bigger is 430x than 40x? Now, if you want, you can go back and rewind the video or just pause it here and you can figure that out. So go ahead and pause the video. Pause the video. Oh my gosh. Okay, so how much bigger is 430x than 40x? Let's do this real quick. Again, we'll take 430 and divide by 40. That'll give us the magic number of 10.75, which means that 430x is 10.75 times higher magnification than 40x. Then we take 4 millimeters, the field of view at 40x, divide that by 10.75, and that gives us 0.37 millimeters, which is really kind of an awkward number. 1/3 of a millimeter is kind of hard to wrap your head around. So let's multiply it by 1,000 and convert it to micrometers, or microns you might hear them called. And that gives us 370 micrometers. So now we know the field of view at 430x, and we just do the opposite of how we estimated the tree size. We'll take one of these cells, and if we pretend to line them up across the field of view, we can estimate that about 7 of them would fit end to end. Now just divide the field of view, which we know is 370 micrometers, by 7, the number of cells that would fit across, and we can estimate that one of those cells measures about 50 micrometers long.